Hello, beloved. It's Lainie Love beaming in from the Mark Twain National Forest. I'm in a different location this time. I'm sure you can tell if you are a regular viewer. I am the cosmic creatrix of the Sacred Revolution Oracle, as well as the founder of the Ecstatic Embodied Leadership Academy. And I'm thrilled to be beaming in today with a full moon lunar eclipse in Taurus reading for this potent eclipse portal. I know we already gathered at the beginning of the eclipse portal to really talk about Scorpio season, and you can see that reading on the channel. But today we're diving specifically into this full moon lunar eclipse, which is at 16 degrees, and it will be exact at 6:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is when our shadow actually falls across the moon. And so it's going to look like a blood moon with a deep red color of our own shadow moving across the moon. This also happens to be the midterm elections in the US. And so expect the unexpected with results for everything involving this full moon, and including surprising outcomes, because Uranus is in the mix. Uranus is the standout of this eclipse, and Uranus is conjunct the moon almost exact, also with the North Node. And so Uranus is all about change and rebellion and revolution. Can bring crisis, interdependence. It's about a breakthrough. And Uranus also carries the frequency of the ancient future and can support us in stepping into the next level of our genius. And so it's where we're going next as well, because it's the North Node. It's that next level of our evolution, what we're increasing, what we're hungry for and being called towards with this moon. And so full moon eclipses are really non-negotiable emotional endings. So it is a time for very potent release and shedding like the serpent. And so really asking, where are you ready to make a change and have a breakthrough? An old habit pattern, an old way of being, an old relationship, really looking at what needs to die away now so that you can be liberated, because Uranus is about liberation. And eclipses are about life-changing endings and beginnings. They are technically these crescendos within the energy of our lives that can require sudden adjustments. And this particular eclipse is around the themes of Taurus and Scorpio, which is the access of power and resources. And so, Taurus really rules our values and our worth. And so in a way, we are breaking down what is not in alignment with what we value most. And, we're also in a place where we really can't know the future, and we're jumping into the unknown here. And so trust is really required to move through this. It's like we're Indiana Jones style jumping off the cliff and trusting that there's going to be that bridge there that's listed on the map, even though you can't see it, right? And so Uranus can really support us in this, in changing what has felt stuck, possibly for multiple lifetimes. And so this is real big breakthrough energy. And so Taurus also rules physical attachments, ecstatic embodiment, our riches, abundance. It's very 3D material. It's about pleasure, our pleasure power. And so these are all elements for us to really be sitting with. The other thing that is present is that Uranus and Saturn in Aquarius have been in a square, and it's a tense aspect that came in around January 2020. And so this eclipse is really highlighting that energy that we have been in. And Saturn brings us into responsibility and commitment and restriction and boundaries, whereas Uranus, again, is about this, change, liberation, freedom, independence. And so this is really creating some real lasting change here as well. And we also have Jupiter back in Pisces for another stint until December, sitting with Neptune. And so we're revisiting that conjunction from April 12th that we had earlier this year, which you can go back and watch the recording from that if you wanted to tune in again. But this is really inviting in that big dream and vision now. So we're in this place where we're going back to retrieve that dream, to really be able to carry it forward. And so I have pulled some cards from the Sacred Revolution Oracle to support us for this full moon lunar eclipse, and I would love to dive into those now. because two of the cards that came up actually were in our reading last time at the beginning of the eclipse portal. Not so surprising because these energies are carrying through and over. And so the first one is number 3, which is repair your root. And here you see the serpent. You see the energy of the release, of the shedding, of the clearing. This card is very Taurian in its nature, because it's really about coming into a greater sense of safety and security and belonging here on earth. So healing through any of the places where you felt not enough, or have been operating from scarcity consciousness, or where you have felt disconnected from your embodiment, from the earth. As you can see, she's here in her ecstatic embodiment. She is in her pleasure power. She is connected to the intimate earth. As you can see, she's here mud bathing, just literally infusing herself with the energies and the power and the medicine of the earth. And we have the hummingbird here. And the hummingbird, as I've shared before, memorizes thousands of flowers, and it only goes back to the ones that nourish it the most. So this is really an opportunity here to ask, what brings you the greatest nourishment and sustenance? Where do you want to focus your life force energies? Where do you want to invest? These are all themes around Taurus. Where do you want to invest your life force? And I've really been thinking a lot about this today because I've been doing some future planning for the Ecstatic Embodied Leadership Academy. And that is really such a core part of the work that we're doing in the Academy, is really looking at our life force. It is one of our greatest resources, and it connects us directly to our power. And so where is it that you really want to invest your life force energy? Where is it that you want to plug yourself into for vital aliveness and sustenance? And really looking at what that is for you, and really getting clear about that and refocusing in on the heart of what matters most. And so this card has come through both times. So really looking at healing the root, descending into the body instead of ascending, that we ascend and come to higher levels of consciousness through descending into the body, into our ecstatic embodiment. And the next card that came through is 25, which we also had this one last time. Wield your fierce sword of discernment. And so this is really asking you, and with this clearing of the full moon, what are you saying no to so that you can lean into a bigger yes, right? This is where we really focus in on what matters most to us. What do we value? What do we care about? What is the dream that we are taking steps towards and living into now, right? And, really feeding our life force and being mindful of where we're investing our time, our energy, our resources, that ecstatic embodied life force, that Shakti. Where are we channeling that out into the world as she is there with her hand, channeling her light? Where are we choosing to focus those energies? And what is it that we need to get really clear about? And, as a friend of mine said, she got tired of her own bullshit and is really clearing with this full moon eclipse an old pattern that no longer serves. And I'm feeling very similar, clearing a very deep old pattern that is no longer in service to me. And so really looking at, what are you saying no to? What are you drawing the sword down on to really say no more with this fucking bullshit, so that I can be in my full power and sovereignty and truth, and really moving towards what makes me come alive, what makes me feel sustained, what makes me feel nourished, what makes me feel so deeply fed at a soul level that, and really getting clear what your no is, that sacred no, so you can lean more into your embodied holy hell yes. Okay, so use this full moon eclipse to really cut away. Uranus is a shattering energy, to shatter what is no longer in service to you being in your fullness, to you bringing forward that big dream that you're going back to retrieve now. The next card that came through is 40, which is follow the call of your soul. And this card has been coming through a lot for me recently, both personally and also in the collective and in readings for others. And this card, again, the hummingbird is there, again, a repetition of that going towards the sweetness, going towards the nourishment, going towards what is feeding you most, what is bringing you that deep level of sustenance, that Taurus sustenance, and to be liberated into new levels of sustenance and worthiness, and knowing that you are enough, that you have always been enough, and really coming into a deep embodied felt sense in your bones of that enoughness. Deep in your bones, especially those that have the Chiron wound in Taurus. It can be a very challenging moment, especially because, these energies of the full moon and Uranus might actually be conjunct your Chiron wound in Taurus, which is about healing those patterns and really coming into a state of knowing you are worthy, knowing you are enough. And so really coming to that place of the soul call here. What is that deeper call that is coming to you? What does life really want for you? What is God, goddesses, spirit's dream for you? That larger dream that is so much bigger than you, that is calling you forward. So it's an invitation now to really feel into that deeper call that is so much bigger than you, so much bigger than your human self, that it is part of your soul, your divinity, that higher self that you have, and that connection that you have to spirit, to God, to goddess, whatever word resonates for you. And really asking, what is that dream? What is that dream that you have for me, beloved? What are you calling me towards? How can I show up for that now and metamorphosize into that? And here we have lightning, and Uranus is that lightning. And so we have Uranus here in the mix to support us in really awakening, catalyzing, helping us to really call into, to lean into, to understand, to awaken to, this is that dream. This is what I want to move towards. This is what I want to get really clear about my boundaries around, so that I can move towards it step by step by step. These are the things I'm going to say no to, so that I can lean into my bigger yes and really bring that dream into fruition, into reality, to make it real. These are the things I'm committing to release, to clear, to really end. These old patterns, ways of being, relationships, whatever it is for you, that you're committing to end, to follow the call to that next level of your becoming, to that next level of the dream that God, goddess is calling you towards now. So allowing yourself to be led forward by the soul and spiraling into your depths to really ask where it is that you want that breakthrough, that Uranian breakthrough, that Uranian ending, and allowing that to nourish you, to sustain you, to feed the dream, and really asking, what is it that you are hungry for? What is it that you are deeply desiring? What is it that is tugging you forward with every cell of your body? That's that embodied holy hell yes. And that's what that Jupiter sitting with Neptune again in Pisces is supporting us in, going back to retrieve that dream. And especially looking at any dreams you started planting seeds for earlier this year around April, when we had that conjunction, and going back to retrieve that and to say, this is the deeper calling of my soul. This is what is drawing me forward now. This is why I am here. This is what I am meant to be moving forward towards. This is what will sustain me at every level of my being. And so really getting in touch with that is a powerful opportunity now. And, allowing this last part of the year for you to dream, because Jupiter is going to be in Pisces until the 20th. So allow yourself to bring that soul call forward, to be in the dream, to allow yourself to really go to the heights of what is beyond even what you feel possible right now. And that's why there's that invitation to connect to what is God, goddess's dream for you, that much bigger dream, that dream that is so much bigger than yourself, that you are here to participate in, that is going to feed and sustain the ecosystem of humanity, that is going to feed and sustain all of us as we are moving forward into 2023 and into the ancient future that is calling us, especially as Pluto is going to be entering into Aquarius, which is going to bring in a whole new era, which I'll talk more about in the future, because of course Uranus is bringing that frequency of the ancient future, and Uranus rules Aquarius. And so we have some more very Uranian energy here with 44. This is emerge through the rainbow birth portal. And as you see, there's more lightning coming in, and here is Saturn with that square. And, this is really that invitation to the breakthrough, to blossom into the next level, to be liberated. This card is about quantum healing, about liberation, about quantum expansion, and really coming to new levels and new heights in your being, and remembering that eclipse portals are about life-changing endings and beginnings. And so this is an opportunity to pass through the portal to the next version of yourself, to this next chapter that you're writing, and to invite that in to that next level of your metamorphosis, of your relationship, perhaps with resources, with embodiment, with these energies of really knowing what sustains and nourishes you, these Taurian themes, what brings you pleasure, what really lights up your ecstatic embodiment, and leaning in towards that, letting yourself be catalyzed towards that now, letting the lightning of Uranus come in and shock you awake into this next level of who you are here to be now, and letting this eclipse serve you in releasing and clearing anything that is standing in the way of that is standing in the way of your next big breakthrough, of you bringing forward that big dream that is calling, of you stepping into that next level of your essence and of your power. Because remember, Scorpio is about our primal power. And so really letting ourselves come into deep contact with that power in these decisions, in this capacity, in how we're showing up to heal, to clear, to release, to let go, to complete these endings with ease and grace, so we can step through the portal into this next evolutionary edge that is calling us, that next dream that is calling us. And then the final card that came through is 52. And we have not seen this crown jewel of the deck in quite some time. This is sparkle shamelessly for the good of all. And there is the serpent at the top that is clearing, that is releasing, that is shedding, that is holding the diamond of the next version of you that is ready to be catalyzed into being with this eclipse portal. And sparkling shamelessly is about coming into our full, authentic truth, our full essence, the raw primal truth of who we are, and really being in full intimacy with ourselves, with the world, with that soul truth. And, as we had follow the call of your soul, that means also getting in touch with what is the truth of your soul? What is the true sparkling radiance of your essence? Your soul essence, who you are here to be at your core. This is not something we're taught in school. This is not something we are encouraged to live into unless you are practicing in spirituality in these other circles, and really helping us to awaken to that sparkling gem that we are, that we have always been. And so this card is also really accepting in a lot of ways and knowing that we are enough just as we are in our essence, just as we are being. We don't have to do anything. We are love. We are deeply loved just for being. Just for being. Our presence is a gift. And Taurus really invites in embodied presence. So how can you bring in greater embodied presence for your life, for those elements that need healing, for those elements that are calling you forward, for the dream? How can you just give it your presence, your love, your attention, your attunement? Because that is how we start to sparkle shamelessly. And this card is also deeply connected to our life force energies, right? And when we saw this card before, we're really getting discerning about what are we saying no to? Where are we withdrawing our energy and our life force so that we can plug it in to something that is more deeply sustaining for us, that will be more deeply sustaining for the ecosystem, that is going to be for the greater good? Because this card is also about being a force for good in the world. How can you be a force for good now? How can you show up in your fullness, in your truth, shedding what is no longer serving you? And in this next dream that you are living into and being and becoming, how can you be the fullest, most authentic, raw, true version of you in your sovereign power, in your essence? And so letting this full moon help you to clear anything that might be, sort of clouding or muddying your essence. These old ways of being, these old habit patterns, these old obsessions, because Scorpio rules obsessions. What is it that is really holding you back now, that is keeping you from this, that is keeping you from that quantum expansion of stepping through the portal and saying, okay, I'm really ready to clear and release this now, so I can truly follow the call of my soul, so that I can truly show up and heal and know that I belong, that I am safe here, that I am secure in myself, in my truth. I don't have to put on any facades or tell a story, or, I can just be me. And in being me, that is enough. And in being me, I am safe. It is safe to be me. It is safe to be me here on earth, and I can be sustained in that truth. And so leaning into your ecstatic embodiment, leaning into this portal of transformation that is here in that Uranian lightning, and knowing that the energies could be destabilizing. Protect your body, protect your energy field. Uranus can also bring shock to the system. It can bring accidents. So be very mindful. Bring that presence to your everyday actions, how you're moving in the world, how you're showing up, and be sure to show up to vote if you are in the US, because we are responsible for this transformation, for that greater dream. If you want to see the new future in politics, then show up to the polls and place your vote for that new earth, for that new paradigm that you want to see, to help us catalyze that ancient future that we are all calling forward and stepping into together, the rebirth into that now. And so really let yourself show up. Saturn is there. Be responsible, do the right thing, show up, really cast your vote and allow yourself to be heard, to be felt, to be resonated out into the field for that bigger collective dream, because this is a time of collective dreaming as well. That bigger collective dream of that world we want to see, that more beautiful world our hearts knows is possible. And as we each live into our individual dreams, it helps to catalyze that larger dream. As we each sparkle shamelessly for the good of all, it helps the collective to sparkle shamelessly as well, to be in our full truth and essence and moving towards that for the greater good of all. So excited to see what comes through for you in this portal. Would love to hear how this resonated for you below. Please share, what are you releasing? What are you clearing? What is the ending that you are calling in with this eclipse portal in the comments below? Be sure to like this, to subscribe, to share it with anyone you feel that would be served by this medicine. And so looking forward to seeing you on the other side of the eclipse portal and the eclipse season. We're going to have some holiday bundles coming out soon for the Sacred Revolution Oracle deck, so that you can get lots of copies to gift to your beloveds and to share this medicine around the globe. And there'll be more coming through around that soon. And in the meantime, deep, deep gratitude for your presence here, for you really listening, for you attuning to the cosmos, to connecting to the web of all life, to allowing yourself to be guided by your soul, by spirit, by the cosmic forces all around. And we'll see you next time, beloved. Until then, sparkle shamelessly for the good of all.